John Bentley.
Check. We'll go from there. We'll let it rip. Yeah, it'll pop up on the page. Yeah. I'm doing a weird time on Saturday, so we'll see if we answer then. Alright, here we go. What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck back with another Cowboys fans only episode. So you guys know the drill. Go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, somewhere down there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. We suffered, I don't even say it's a tough loss. I would say a very disappointing loss last Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. And to be honest with you guys, I did not want to do a live show this week. Shouts out to my girl Ruth for Beauty in the Cleats and her guest Katie as well for having me on. I did that show on Wednesday, but I haven't posted anything all week because I've been very low key. I've been wanting to kind of just chill out, clear my head, get away from this whole Cowboys chaos that we're actually going through right now. But I'm back. It's Saturday. We have a game tomorrow against the Giants. And so we're going to do what we do best, and we're going to get down to it. So I brought in one of my favorite people to bring onto this show, my guy Ryan. Ryan, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Jordan? How are you?
I'm just happy to be back, and like I said, it's time to regroup from that loss on Sunday. How are you feeling about that loss, though?
Oh man, it was brutal because I knew that a loss was definitely on the table because I knew that Cleveland wasn't a bad team,
Right?
but I never saw it going down like that. I mean, that was horrible from the get go.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't really just us losing to the Browns. It's for the fact that we simply came out and just got dominated from the jump. And I feel like as a Cowboys fan, it's very discouraging to see that. We really just got punched in the mouth. I mean, plain and simple, Cleveland lined up. They played that style of football, ran the ball down our throats. They handled things when they needed to. Baker Mayfield made it plays when he needed to. Their stars made it plays when they needed to. And so it's just really hard to be hopeful after what we saw last Sunday. And so I say this, Ryan. How are you feeling right now? Are you, because I see it split on Twitter. I see tank Cowboys should tank. I see a lot going on right now. How are you feeling when it comes to this Cowboys team for the 2020 season?
Well, it's just a weird feeling, right? Because that game kind of reminded me of one of the last games of like Wade Phillips' career with Dallas, where it was just like this is the game late in the coach's career where he gets fired, but
Right,
we have a brand new head coach.
right.
So it was just very strange to see. It kind of told me that we're not a good football team. Do I think we could beat a team like New York? We'll talk about that definitely, maybe. But are we going to be able to beat the tougher teams later on this year? I just don't see it.
Yeah, and I think that's the splash of cold water that a lot of Cowboys fans are receiving right now. Our football team, we are not that good. Now, we have a lot of recognizable faces, a lot of recognizable names out there, but as far as from a football team organization, we are really not that good, and it's really time for Cowboys fans to admit that. And I get it. I'm one of those pompous, arrogant Cowboys fans. We can do no wrong, no matter what. You're still gonna watch. We run the East. We do the, but I would have to finally admit, man, we're just not a good football team. And you think about the talent pool that we have. Even if you go back to last year, we still had games where we lost where we should have won. So we can't blame coaching anymore. That's out the window. So what do you think it really is when it comes to this Cowboys team? Why we can't put this together?
And it comes down to I really think we handed out the big contracts to the wrong people. I mean, at the end of the day, the majority of the money on the team isn't performing. When you
Right.
got guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, Jalen Smith, even Ezekiel Elliott, and then there's some guys that are missing time due to injury, but still collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, so the thing that's been kind of circulating, do you believe that Jerry doesn't only pay for performance, he pays off for brand name as well? Like you mentioned, Jalen Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, like those are jersey selling guys, Ezekiel Elliott, jersey selling guys. Do you think that's the case where it really goes into consideration when Jerry's making these contract negotiations? You would think so, but there's another guy who needs a contract right now who is very marketable and a lot of people like. So, but what's your take
It,
on
it's
that?
definitely it's definitely a little bit of both, right? I was listening to Jeff Kavanaugh talk about it the other day, and
Mhm.
he kind of said the same thing, and I definitely agree. But we like Jalen Smith, the player. That one season he was phenomenal, and
Right,
but we also like Jalen Smith, the story. And
right.
I think as a GM, you can't sell both. You gotta pick players on performance or on their story. So I think Jerry kind of struggles with that sometimes.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree because I think the Dallas Cowboys, and I said this when Jeff Kavanaugh posted this on Twitter, that the Cowboys like a story. They like a story they can sell. And there's a guy that's playing left guard right now. When he came, he got drafted. It was a story how he was bullied and different things like that. And the Cowboys leverage the old story they can sell with these players. But when it comes down to making these decisions, when it comes to for the contract, you have to think about performance and who's going to be able to perform for the long term. And so I just don't know, Cowboys fan. Like, give me your take in the chat, man, how you guys are feeling about all this. But I just don't see any upside with this team. I don't see a band-aid how this defense could get fixed. And we'll talk about it here shortly. But the effort wasn't there. The misreads was there. Like everything. It's just sloppy football. Like, so what do you think if the Cowboys really want to salvage this season? How can we do it at this point, Ryan?
Well, at some point, we have to have a better understanding of the defense, right? I mean, we're 4 weeks in now, so we can't use preseason as an excuse anymore
Right.
because we've had a training camp. We've had 4 weeks, not preseason, but 4 weeks of real football. And at some point, you got to be able to implement the system, and the players got to pick it up. And if they can't pick it up by now, it's a problem in the coaching and the difficulty, the complexity of the system that you're trying to implement.
Yeah, shouts out to Rob Roberts in the chat. He said first 4 weeks had a feel of preseason. So I guess if you're thinking about that, and shouts out to my guy Nix and the rest of the Star Game, they kind of said, okay, we saw what we were preseason, we're still adjusting, but these games count. There's not preseason.
Yeah.
And if we look this bad in preseason, I would be nervous going into our week one as well. And I feel like for Cowboys fans this year, we really didn't get to see training camp like we're accustomed to seeing in Oxnard. So if we would have saw all these issues going on way back in training camp, because everything was hidden, everyone was playing amazing. Jalen Smith had taken a great leap in training camp, and Francis Bernard was doing all these great things. So all we were going off was he say, she say. We never really got to see for ourselves. And so I feel like if we would have came out of training camp and saw a little bit of preseason and saw a lot of these issues, we'd have been concerned a lot earlier before we really dive into the season. But we're going to transition into the divisional game as we go to play the Giants this week. But before we get to that, a lot of news, and as we all know, Cowboys fans, every week is a holiday. There's always something going on with the Cowboys nation. So let's talk about it. So last week, this is one of my good takeaways I was excited about. The one thing that kind of gave me hope. It looks like it's an end for Tyron Smith. He's going to have neck surgery, so he'll probably miss this entire season. How are you feeling about that right now, Ryan?
It's disappointing for sure, but I can't say I was shocked when I heard the news. Even the news that they were preparing for it. I'm kind of at the point in his career where I think we need to start thinking about who's the next guy. Is it Brandon Knight? Because I don't know how many more years his body's really going to hold up for him. And it sucks, but
yeah. So the huge question mark that's been circling with Tyron Smith, do you think he's going to retire? Do you think that this is the end of Tyron Smith? Like injury after injury, now it's a neck, back, his whole body's pretty much breaking down. He's like one of the youngest old guys I pretty much know because he's so young still. I think he's what, 28?
29, I think.
29, yeah, 28, 29, and he has the body of like a 40-year-old. And so do you think he's actually going to retire? We saw what happened this summer with Frederick retiring. Do you think he can actually make that decision?
I'd be somewhat surprised if he retired after this year, but I just don't think the guy has any quit in him. But at the same time, I kind of think he should think about it just
Right.
for his body because he does have the body of a 40-year-old.
Right.
So as he gets into his early 30s, is it going to keep getting worse and worse? And
Right.
that's what you don't want to see.
Right. Especially in the NFL, we've all seen it numerous times. Hell, we had a quarterback who just went through it. When injuries start to amount, man, you just can never get over that hump. And it's really hard for him to have a fully healthy season. So it's coming down to the point where the Cowboys have to think about the future of the Great Wall of Dallas. We still have Zach Martin, barely. It looks like they're going to talk about swinging him to swing tackle possibly. But as far as what we've known and been accustomed to as that offensive line, a lot of changes are coming, which we'll talk about here soon. Big news of this week. So my old guy, like I said, Sunday I jumped off the Xavier Woods train. People, I'm off. I'm fully off. Go ahead, do what you got. And I kind of felt bad because a lot of people were slandering Xavier Woods, and it was coming from different angles. I really like Xavier Woods. I think he's a great guy. I think he's I won't say a good player, but he has the skills that's necessary to be a great player. He just hasn't put it together yet. But he came out and had a comment that, it's impossible to give 100% effort out there for 71 plays and different things like that. And so, of course, that he has to take breaks and whatnot. Thoughts on that, Ryan? How are you feeling when you originally heard it?
Yeah, so you know what? I didn't make that much of it. I know the media took it and ran with it. I know
Right.
fans weren't a fan of it. To be honest, my first thoughts were just bad timing.
Right.
Because I could see where he's coming from. He's exactly right.
Right.
I've trained some mixed martial arts, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and you can't go full on 100% of the time. I mean, it's
Right.
true, but it was just the worst time to say that.
Right. Especially after that last play that Odell Beckham did on that reverse, and it showed you kind of loafing and jogging and all over the place. Just read the room. Athletes have to learn to read the room. Maybe you say that in house. Maybe you say that in a text or something like that. But don't go in an interview that's nationally publicized and say something like that, especially after the effort we all seen on tape this past week. It's just really bad. I think Xavier Woods will come out and play much better. Now, granted, it's the Giants or whatnot, but I think this team got embarrassed. And granted, a lot of people are high on the Browns. They're not the Cleveland Browns we're accustomed to seeing. They're a really solid football team, but I think we all can agree the Dallas Cowboys are supremely more talented than the Cleveland Browns. And so I think we got embarrassed last week. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, that embarrassing game from last Sunday will kind of propel this Cowboys team to kind of do better. I saw DeMarcus Lawrence speaking out, which we'll talk about. Well, actually, that's next up. DeMarcus Lawrence calls the defense soft. He's speaking out a lot more. So maybe there will be a new chip on the shoulder, and these guys will want to step forward. Offense side of the ball, you guys are good in my book. But the defensive side of the ball, that's where we're all concerned. We need more effort. What we saw last Sunday, getting ran on for 300 plus yards, that just comes down to effort, will, want. That's it. There's really not much of a scheme you can say when it comes to stopping the run. You really just have to want to stop the run. It's a dirty game. I played the game. A lot of people out here watching the show, we played the game. Once you decide in your mental aspect, you need the effort to stop the run, you just got to beat your man. That's really, really comes down to. So hopefully this Sunday we'll see a lot more effort. But if you go back and watch the film for Sunday, and to be honest with you guys, I probably got halfway through the first quarter, and I was just like, nah, why waste my time? Why waste my time with this? But there was a lot of bad plays, a lot of miscommunications. It still remains as far as that. So to transition off of that, Ryan, is Mike Nolan on the hot seat?
I think he definitely is. And when I say that, I mean that game had to light a fire under us, because if we don't come out this week and perform defensively, if it's the same thing as last week, then his days are definitely numbered. I mean, there's no excuses for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's what Mike McCarthy and the staff definitely have to be cautious with. And we saw Jason Garrett went on 1-5 through the fan. He said he's like, this is gonna be the first year in so long I haven't wrote a check to a Garrett, whether his father, his brother, or Jason himself. Like, if he lets Jason Garrett comes in here and make a mark with the New York Giants, that's gonna let Jerry Jones sit back and think, damn it, man, I told you guys I didn't want to fire Jason Garrett. You guys made me. And so once he starts to have that thought process, it just starts to steamroll. And so, like you said, Ryan, I think if the Giants come in and they put up, a type of offense, which they're really not capable, I won't say, knock on wood, but I mean the Giants have been solid. A lot of people look at the Giants record, which we'll talk about here soon, and think this is going to be a pushover game. If you watch what they did last week against the Rams, they played solid, and they were actually in that game and had the opportunity to possibly win it a few times. Daniel Jones did cough up the ball a few times on a turnover, but they're still a consistent team. They're still getting some momentum, and as poor as we looked on the defensive side of the ball, who am I to say that the Giants can't score against Dallas? So I believe if we come out and we let the Giants come out and put up big numbers on the offensive side of the ball, I think Mike Nolan gets the boot after. I don't see how you can sit back and say he can fix this, because I haven't seen any progress. It would have been different if we saw some type of leap forward from week 1, but we're in week 5 right now, and I'm seeing zero improvement.
Yeah. No doubt about it. And I got to bring up a quick story, J Tuck. When I was younger, I went to a game that was against the Arizona Cardinals, and it was Emmitt Smith playing at the tail end of his career. And it was back when the Cowboys were really bad after the Super Bowl era. And Emmitt Smith had a 100-yard game in one of his last seasons against the Cowboys. And it reminds me of Devontae Freeman on the Giants. He's not that old. He's still in his late 20s, I think, but he's kind of on the tail end of his career as a starting running back.
Right.
Got another opportunity with the Giants. you saw what Dearness Johnson did to this defense last week.
Exactly.
Don't be shocked if someone like him steps up, has a big day.
Yeah, and like we talked about a second ago before we came on camera, I'm a Florida State guy. I've watched Freeman since college, and Freeman, when he played for Atlanta, he had some big games against the Dallas Cowboys, and so he's going to want to come in and make a statement because he knows everyone's going to be watching. So, yeah, but I really think this defense really just needs to toughen up a little bit, play your assignments, maybe simplify things, Mike Nolan, if you have to. Kind of get a blueprint of what you guys did last year, maybe go back to that for a little bit until you can really have a full training camp in the preseason and really get acclimated to this new schemes and really start bringing in your guys. But as of right now, it's just not working out. And then the last thing on defense, Leighton Vander Esch back to a light practice. And so it looks like he was just doing some drills. He was in pads, but he wasn't practicing with the team. He was doing some light drills. What are your thoughts? I've seen a lot of people kind of 50-50 split on this. I feel like, from my perspective, the Cowboys are trying to rush LVE back, which I personally disagree with. What is your take on this, Ryan?
Well, I certainly hope not, because that'd be stupid. But I'd like to think they're going to listen to the doctors, because that's what they need to do. I'm excited that he's coming back a little quicker than normal, but I definitely wouldn't rush it.
Right.
And it's going to take him a few weeks, even once he does start playing, to really get acclimated. So it's not like he's going to come in tomorrow and just save the day.
Havoc, right.
So just don't rush it.
Yeah. I would say, man, with a guy like LVE, he's a premium draft pick. We know what he means to this team, also for this franchise, the middle linebacker position. Well, we see that. Do not rush him out there and have him re-aggravate his neck or his collarbone too early, because like we said earlier with Tyron Smith, those injuries start to amount, and we see with Sean Lee, it's just hard to get over it. If it's not your neck, it's your collarbone. If it's not your collarbone, it's your back. If it's not your back, it's your hamstring. And you can never really have a great NFL career that we're expecting from Vander Esch. And so I would say don't rush it. At this point, I don't think LVE can save this defense. I feel like if he comes in, instead of getting 50 put up on us, it might be 40. So, big whoop. Now, I think eventually getting some of these other guys back, like Cheeto and also Anthony Brown, maybe Sean Lee and LVE, that could actually have some impact. But as of right now, I don't see LVE coming back too early. I definitely wouldn't risk it. Let's see what's going on in the chat, man. Let's see. Tyrone Church, what's up, bro? Is Xavier Woods benched yet? I don't think he is. Yet. But he probably will get close. But here's the thing: if you bench him for who? Like, you really can't say if he benched Xavier Woods. If it's me, and this is Coach Tuck talking right now. If I'm gonna make a move at safety, I'm gonna have Wilson, and then I'm gonna throw the rookie Reggie Robinson back there and see what he has. Now, I hate to be one of the guys who kind of assumes things just off of like cryptic tweets and Instagram posts, but I did see Reggie Robinson, he posted a picture in his Instagram stories, and it had like a little sand clock, and he was like, the time is now. So maybe, I'm thinking maybe he thinks he's going to get a go this week. I don't see why not. What could it hurt? So hopefully that's what he's trying to imply, that he's going to get some more playing time this week. We'll definitely see. The boys 2138, what's going on, bro? How about those Cowboys? Yeah, we can say that, but not too loud right now. Jerry doesn't have the history of firing coaches mid-season. Yeah, I don't think a head coach, but a defensive coordinator, man. Jerry Jones hates getting embarrassed. And so I feel like if last week didn't do it, and the only thing that saved Jerry in the organization last week by not picking up the phone and calling Earl Thomas is because the offense was able to pick things up and make it a closer game than what it really was. But I feel like, and I said this to you guys on the pre-show, if we would have got 50 balled, 50-14, 49-14, I feel like there would have been drastic changes coming out the gate, especially having that happen at home. But that kind of saved the day. And, we can say, oh, well, we still played well. We could have won the game. And, lip service. Donovan Wilson and Darryl Worley at safety. I mean, but can we really say that Darryl Worley has played much better than Xavier Woods? I mean, he's had a few opportunities for plays, but he didn't make the play. But he also got cooked last Sunday against Odell Beckham Jr. when he was lined up one-on-one. So, I mean, you put Xavier Woods back there or put Darryl Worley, I feel like that's not a drastic improvement. So like I said, I would go with Reggie Robinson, put the kid back there, see what he got a little bit. But I'm personally okay with getting rid of Thompson and putting Wilson back there alongside Xavier Woods, and hopefully those guys can work it out as a duo. Francis Bernard at linebacker with Joe Thomas. Yeah, I mean, I just saw earlier they called Francis Bernard back up from the practice squad. Will he actually get some meaningful minutes this week? I hope so. It's like I said, I don't want to take the Giants lightly. I don't want to think they're going to just be a pushover. But I feel like right now is the opportunity to put some different rotations in the lineup to see what you got. Let some of these kids get a momentum to play in this game and, see what they got, if they have it or not, because a lot of these kids didn't get a preseason. You really haven't seen them in full action. And so let's throw some of these guys out there, Francis Bernard, Reggie Robinson, Neville Gallimore. Let's toss these kids in the fire, Bradley and I. Toss them in the fire and let's see what they got this Sunday. I mean, it cannot be any worse than what we've seen. They rushed Romo back from his injuries. Yeah, I remember Romo's collarbone situation. He came back against the Panthers. That's one of my worst Romo games when he threw 4 pick sixes or whatnot, and he hurt his collarbone. Yeah, don't rush it. Aldon Smith played more 3-tech. I don't see that coming. So let me ask you this, Ryan. When it comes to the defensive scheme, do you think that Mike Nolan and the staff really need to make a decision if we're going to be a 4-3 team or a 3-4 team and just go from there? Or do you still like the multiple defensive looks right now?
I mean, at the end of the day, I just think the defensive players need to know where they need to be, especially on the secondary. And we'll see more of that with the guys returning like Anthony Brown, Chidobe Awuzie, guys that have been in the league a little longer. I don't think it matters. I don't mind throwing different schemes out there, but we got to know the scheme. So if we're more comfortable in one or the other, then go with what you're comfortable with.
Right.
Right.
Tyrone, he says yes, a 4-3 until next year. I agree, man. Like I said, what I would do if I'm Mike Nolan, and I know, I'm pretty much on the cusp of getting fired. I go back, I dig up the films from last season. I see what they were doing with Rod Marinelli, and I kind of run a similar structure with that right now until I can get a full offseason of training camp to really get this team acclimated to my scheme. Because right now, it's just too much going on, too many lack of communication, mishaps, miscues on defensive side of the ball. Go back, simplify things, get the language simplified so these guys can really understand and use their natural ability. Because I feel like when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they have athleticism, they have ability. It's really just playing the right structure and really moving as a unit right now, which I think the Cowboys really need to focus on, man. So appreciate everyone for rocking with us. Continue to light up the chat, man. Keep the questions flowing. Also, check out my guy Ryan, man. The shirt, man. CowboysFansOnly.com. Feed Zeke, man. Appreciate the support, man. So, guys, go to the website, get your shirt. I've been in the lab like a madman creating new gear for the CFO game, man. But shouts out to Ryan for the support, man, and everyone who supported the website. And then also, if you're watching the channel for the first time, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, somewhere down there. I appreciate all your support. Ryan, go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you since everyone's trying to jump in the chat and keep it hype on a Saturday night.
Sure. So it's Fratagonia on YouTube for some more daily Dallas Cowboys content. It's Real Fratagonia on Twitter, and it's Fratagonia on Instagram.
Fratagonia on Instagram, man. So definitely follow this guy. He's one of the writers for the Fan to Fan Network, so we partnered together, man. So we're gonna be doing a lot of more collabs, this season, man. Hopefully, if we lose Sunday, man, I might just take everything down, man, and start something else, man. We're gonna do a book club or something on Sundays, man. But here's my thing. Before we talk about Sunday, at the end of the day, Cowboys fam, we lost to the Giants last year. So I mean, we really can't, say if we lose the Jets last year. Jets last year. So if we lose the Giants on Sunday, I mean, it's not the worst. It's not like, Daniel Jones is coming off of mono and then, just ends up shredding us. So, but hopefully it's not the case. So let's get into Sunday's matchup. Dallas Cowboys will face the New York Giants. And so, divisional matchups, you really can never take them for granted because, like you said, everyone typically plays their best. I know a lot of people want to call us the NFC least. And I said this on the show Wednesday. At the end of the day, the Cowboys and also the Eagles, we'll just talk about the top two. We're a sporadic team, but don't get it twisted for 1 second to think if either one of these teams were to get into a playoffs in December and January, that they can't make some noise. And that's the thing. We saw what Philadelphia was able to do against the 49ers. Now, granted, the 49ers have been limited, but both teams, they're streaky. They're streaky. No one really just, owns the division and just takes off with it. But either team, I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs. I mean, I'm just going to be as honest as I can. So when people talk about the NFC least, yeah, granted, we don't take the regular season that serious, but I feel like if the Cowboys or the Eagles were able to get into the playoffs, they can definitely make some noise. But let's go into this matchup against the Giants. What are you looking for? And here's the thing, guys. I was going to do a keys to victory and, this takeaway and this. Just win the damn game. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really a simple formula. Do your job, show some effort, control the ball, win the game. Play with some sense of urgency. I mean, it's really that simple. But Ryan, what are some of your takeaways of how to win this game on Sunday?
Well, I think you definitely got to focus on what you can control. So not turning over the ball is definitely a big one for me. And this Giants defense, they don't have the big names. They don't have the soft boys like we have, but they do play pretty solid defensively. Patrick Graham's a pretty good defensive coordinator from what I've seen. Like I said, they don't have any big names on defense. They don't have the Jamal Adams, the Bobby Wagner's on defense, but they play pretty sound. They haven't played high-power offenses yet. I'd say we're probably the best offense to date that they've played. But, so they're not going to be pushovers.
Yeah, I don't think this game is going to be a pushover. I see that, a lot of people are saying, this is going to be like, blow them out by 30. I would like to see that. I would like for the Cowboys to actually come out and use the Giants as a punching bag to get their frustration out. Because I feel like, once again, that confidence boost can start to give you a little bit momentum. I would love to see DeMarcus Lawrence come out and get 2 to 3 sacks. Even if it's against Daniel Jones, come out and get 2 to 3 sacks. I would love to see one of our defensive rookies like Diggs or, one of our secondary players to get an interception or a pick six. Get some of that momentum. Because I feel like right now our defense in particular, they're in their head. They're overthinking things. I feel like DeMarcus Lawrence with this whole sack thing, he's pressing, he's overthinking it. So he really just needs to get over that slump and kind of get some momentum over his feet. And I feel like he can do that. Also, Everson Griffin as well. Because you think about it, when it comes to their bright spot, when it comes to our defense, Tristan Hill, Alden Smith, that's about it. Joe Thomas too as well. So I feel like there's a lot of people who can really, start to get some groundwork and get some impact this game, hopefully. But I feel like if the Giants were to come out and put up another big offensive effort, it's going to crush our team mentally. And then I really don't know where to go with there. Because, you look at it from the perspective, the Giants right now, 31st in yards per game, passing yards 29th, 31st in rushing, 32nd in points per game. You can't allow them to come and get, put up big numbers against, you in your house. You can't allow that. So, like I said, I'm calling out the defensive guys out there, the hot boys, whatnot. That's where you guys want to go by. I need to see some flying to the ball, playing with some sense of urgency, playing with some toughness, some aggressiveness, and come out and really hit these guys in the mouth. I want to see it, and that's why people telling people about Tristan Hill, right? Second-year guy. But I like Tristan Hill, the new Tristan Hill, because he's playing nasty. He's just a dirty, he's playing max effort. He's flying to the ball. Every tackle, he's hustling. That's what I want to see. And I've always said this as a Dallas Cowboys fan. If I see effort and we just get beat, I can take that. But if you go back and watch the film and see lack of effort, you see loafing on plays, that's something I really can't support. All right. So like I said, defensively, I want to see these guys come out and fly to the ball. But offensively, it looks like we're going to go back to the undrafted free agents as tackles. It'll probably be Brandon Knight to start off, and then Terrence Steele. I'm not sure if he has an uncle or someone who knows Jerry Jones, how he keeps his job. But it looks like he's going to be starting right tackle. So on the offensive side of the ball, are you starting to have concerns with this O line?
Yeah, definitely. The Giants' pass rush isn't all world or anything. I think they got like Leonard Williams, who's the guy from Clemson. Is it Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah, Dexter
Those
Lawrence.
guys on the defensive line. So I mean, it's not like their pass rush is anything crazy. We got to be able to protect Dak. If we can't do it against the Giants, then we're not going to be able to do it against better teams. So yeah, I'm definitely concerned, especially about Terrence Steele. We've already seen him plenty, and it hasn't been pretty.
Yeah.
He had done a hot job. I feel a little bit better about Brandon Knight on that left side
Mm-hmm.
when he's not playing against guys like Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I think the thing that kind of keep a lot of Cowboys fans hopeful is that we've heard some news through interviews that Connor McGovern will be ready to go this week. What does that mean? Hopefully, he'll probably be on standby. And so we've talked about this immensely. You know, Connor Williams, not really a left guard. All right, so maybe I guess if McGovern does get the job, it's going to be the right tackle. I mean, would you agree with that? I guess because for some reason they're not going to swing him to right tackle, or maybe they swing Zach Martin to right tackle and plug Govern at the right guard position. Like how would you structure this O line, Ryan?
it's tough to say. I really like the way Zach Martin looked at right tackle.
Right.
Because you can improvise and put McGovern at guard. You can put Biadasz at center, and who's the other guy I'm missing?
Connor
Oh, I
Williams.
guess Joe Looney. Yeah, Joe Looney's out. So
Right.
I mean, yeah. I hope that Connor McGovern isn't going to be great, because if he is, then that concerns me with what the coaching staff is seeing.
Right. And I think a lot of, and I saw my guy Vosh Lombardi, he said that. He was like, if Connor McGovern comes in and he's outstanding, this Dallas Cowboys team got some explaining to do, because there's no reason, and I said this last week when it came to Thompson at safety. How can all the Cowboys fans see that Donovan Wilson's a better safety than him, but the team that's around him every day is not seeing this? You're watching the same film, if not more than we're seeing, right? It's like we see Terrence Steele getting olayed at right tackle constantly, whether it's a bull rush, whether it's a spin move, whether it's just a strict speed rush from the outside. He gives it all up. So why doesn't this concern you like it concerns us Cowboys fans watching it from the couch? And so I feel like that's the concerning part when it comes to the staff, man. When it really comes to the staff, it's just I'm just not seeing any proper adjustments. I'm not seeing any creativity or just regular sensibility when it comes to how they're managing this roster. It just, a lot of things I see does not make sense. As we go back to the Myles Garrett, leaving Terrence Steele unprotected with no shading anybody, no right tackle, no Zeke on that side. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If I'm playing Madden, which I have been all day, I would not leave Terrence Steele one-on-one versus Myles Garrett. That's stupid. Shout out to my guy Roberto. He says Connor Williams is a bust. Bro, I don't think I would throw Connor in a bust category. I would say he's just not what we expected to that extent. But you gotta understand, Connor Williams has drawn a lot of bad matchups out the gate, and so I feel like Connor Williams is, I don't want to say reliable. He's decent, Granted, he's going to get beat a few times. He's going to get, out just bullied on the offensive line. But at least he's not Terrence Steele. He's not that bad. So I feel like he's very manageable. What's your thoughts on Connor Williams?
Well, he's a left tackle, right? So you're putting him at guard, and you're putting him against bigger defensive tackles that he wasn't used to playing in college.
Right.
So he was used to playing against defensive ends that are usually, 250, 260 pounds. And it's a different game when you're in the inside.
Right.
So I think he was kind of put in a position to fail day one. So I don't really know how good he is. Obviously, he struggled plenty. I agree. He's definitely not Terrence Steele.
Right.
But at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily call him a bust just yet. I mean, he's still pretty young as well. So
yeah. And like I said, I would personally just like to see him at right tackle. Like, what do you have to lose? Mm-hmm. Like put Connor Williams at right tackle, plug McGovern at left guard, and just give me like 4 series. That's all I want. And if it doesn't work, okay, I'll say, okay, I'm wrong. Mike McCarthy, you're the man. You know better than me. All right, okay, I'll shut up. But I was like, just let me see that right now, because I feel like with the pieces we kind of have right now, we're trying to just plug in different pieces to keep this O-line together. I feel like that rotation makes the most sense at this point until we can get Joe Looney back healthy. And is Cameron Irving out? Is he?
I think he's coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if he's going to be available tomorrow or not, but I think he is coming back soon from the injury.
Okay, so maybe Cam Irving can reach in there. We did lose out on Ron Leary. He decided to retire, so the Cowboys probably gave him a bad offer. Other NFL teams did as well. So yeah, it's just really just holding this offensive lineup. Still must have pictures of Jerry and the girl. I'll say he must got something, man. He knows somebody, because I tell you, like Terrence Steele, like I don't understand how you get beat that bad, still can really keep your job, like have the team have trust in you. So yeah, guys. So we spoke about the offensive line, but as we mentioned, as my guy Roberto just mentioned as well, we still got those weapons. We still got CeeDee Lamb. We still got Zeke. We still got Gallup. We still got Coop. We still got Dak Prescott, our quarterback. So do you feel like with all the injuries, all of the bad decision making from the coaching staff, how horrible our defense is, that our offense still is strong enough to really just overcome a lot of these negatives that we have as far as this team is concerned for 2020?
Yeah, well, I mean, they can definitely put up points, and especially against a Giants team. Even like I said, the Giants defense and their secondary especially isn't bad whatsoever. But I would compare them to like the Seahawks without Jamal Adams, without Bobby Wagner, without that star power. So we were still able to move the ball really well. Dak was able to go out there and do his thing, and our receivers will get open against pretty much any team. You can't cover all 3 of them.
Right. And that's the one thing, Cowboys fans, we can kind of just keep hopeful. It's just how powerful and explosive this offense really can be for what we've seen thus far. If I'm Mike McCarthy, when we come out tomorrow for Sunday's game, I tell Jerry Jones at AT&T Stadium, just put 24 points on the Giants scoreboard, 24-0 to start the game off. And then maybe the Cowboys offense will play with some sense of urgency. But like I said, we really have to protect the ball. Dak doesn't need to be a hero. Just do your thing. Zeke, you don't need to be a hero. Just do what you're capable of doing. And I feel like this offense can gain a lot of momentum, especially against the Giants. But once you start trying to play hero ball, you start to force things, that's when the fumbles and the turnovers start to ensue. And then you get down, and then we're just playing from behind. I'm tired of that. I really want to have a game this Sunday, guys, where I can really sit back, enjoy my dinner, you know what I'm saying, hang out with the family a little bit, not have to be so in tune with my heart pumping. I really just want to sit back, bring my recliner, eat some Chipotle, and watch the Cowboys handle business without stressing so much. Can I get one of those games at least? Like, I just haven't had one. Like, everything's been like a roller coaster or almost a heart attack. Our offense did great in the hurry up, not only last week, but also against the Seahawks. Yeah, Robert, here's the thing. I've always said this, and I'm not sure how I could find a stat on this, but the Dallas Cowboys, this is even going back to Tony Romo, has always been a much better and more efficient offense when we play with tempo. I don't know why that's the reason, why we never stuck with it, but Romo would get in the rhythm, and you also see Dak Prescott also gets into a rhythm when you start to play with some tempo. But like I said, I really need to get this guy, Zeke, back on track, run the ball. I need to see Tony Pollard get on track and run the ball. Because I feel like if we can establish the run, really get that train going again, that's going to open up so many opportunities, and it's going to take the pressure off of a quarterback to be throwing the ball 50 times. If he has to throw the ball 50 times against the Giants, I don't know, guys. Like, if he has to throw the ball 50 times against the Giants, honestly, I'm Todd France. I go upstairs to Jerry's office and be like, hey, like, I need some type of compensation for this man, because he's doing way too much, and he's definitely not being compensated to that amount. So hopefully the Cowboys can control the ball, get off to a great start, and just control the game. Like, the game has been controlling us. The game has been dictating what the Cowboys are doing, because we've been down by so much. Because a lot of people say Ezekiel Elliott, he's not looking as explosive, and he hasn't had the numbers he's accustomed. Well, if you turn the ball over and you're down by 17 or 18 points in the first quarter, that pretty much takes the run game away from you. And so I feel like right now what we have to do is really just control the ball. We can really get this run game moving in motion, and then that will open things up to that wide receiver core. Are you concerned about Zeke? I mean, you have the shirt on, so I mean, you can't be that concerned.
Well, I would be. We just played two really tough run defenses, two top five rushing defenses in the NFL. The Seahawks and the Cleveland Browns. The Giants aren't terrible at stopping the run by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not that level. They gave up like 113 yards to Benny Snell week 1 against the Steelers. So I think Zeke should absolutely go out there and do his thing this week. If he does struggle running the ball and establishing the run against the Giants, then I will be a little more concerned.
Yeah. I feel like if the Giants can come around and hold Zeke to 60 yards and 15 carries, man. But like Robert said, we need to see more two-back sets, get Pollard more involved. Yeah, and like I said, Robert, we came out, and this is something I've been screaming all off season, and then Mike McCarthy was even talking about it in all those little interviews. You're going to see a lot of dual back sets with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott on the field at the same time. We came out, saw it 2 times, the very first 2 plays against Atlanta. Tony Pollard fumbled. He recovered it, got pulled out. We never seen it again. And I feel like that's always been the Dallas Cowboys kryptonite. We come out, we try something, it doesn't work, then we just bail from it. Like that creates a lot of guessing when it comes to those 2 running backs, especially as Phil's linebackers, because you have to take in consideration the thunder that's coming at you with Ezekiel Elliott, or also the lightning. Like I said, I've been playing Madden all day. I have Ezekiel Elliott and I have Christian McCaffrey. Like I use both of them at the same time, because you have to be aware of both of them in the backfield. Tony Pollard, we saw last week, even though he kind of fumbled the catch a little bit, he ended up catching the ball. But as soon as he got the ball, he broke for the first down. So he's very explosive. That's Tony Pollard's game. Not kick returning out the back of the end zone every time. That's not what Tony Pollard's really called to do. Get him the ball in space and let him move, and let Zeke wear these defensive lines down by just wearing them down. Just the hammer. As far as Zeke Elliott this year, I feel like he's looking a little bit more explosive. He's need to control the ball a little bit more. But as far as his bursts and his cuts, it's all there. But we also have to take in consideration Zeke has been doing a lot in the passing game as far as pass protection, because we're down 2 tackles. And so that wears you down as well, as far as that. So what is your expectations and your prediction for this game, Ryan?
Gosh, right now it's a tough day for me, a tough week for me to predict a Cowboys win, Jordan. Right. But I mean, I'm looking at this game and I don't see why our offense isn't going to go out there and put up big points. Right. And our defense is horrible, but man, the Giants just don't have the weapons. They really don't.
Right.
And Daniel Jones is struggling because of it.
Right.
I don't think he's a horrible quarterback, but we won't know anytime soon because he doesn't have Saquon and he doesn't have the guys. So, yeah, I think the Cowboys should win this game 38 to 20-something.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. Like, I really can't put a score on it because who knows? Who really knows? But I feel like the Cowboys should win this game outright. It shouldn't be coming down to a last field goal between Greg Zuerlein. We shouldn't have to be going for a 2-point conversion or whatnot. Like, I feel like the Cowboys really need to come out, and I thought they were going to do this last Sunday, and I was wrong. Really come out and make a statement. Really make a statement and show them how dominant this team really can be if you put things together. But it's just like you let teams linger around. Then it really comes down to a few penalties. You have a few holding calls and things just going your way. Then a turnover happens here. You can't let teams like that just kind of hang around in the fourth quarter. Go ahead, put your foot on their neck, and just get it over with. I want to see Dak Prescott on the sideline like laughing in the fourth quarter and get some Andy Dalton time. Let's do that. I'm calling for some Andy Dalton time in the fourth quarter because we're up by so much. That's what I want to see on Sunday. But we really never can get to that point. And I thought that transitioning from Jason Garrett to Mike McCarthy, we would see that a lot more. Handling business against teams we should handle business against. Last week was a poor representation of that. Hopefully this week we do see a lot more when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys team, man. So Cowboys fan, man, let me know how you feeling about Sunday's game. Like I said, guys, I've been down all week, man. I had to do a post game. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I had to do a post game show in Browns gear. Like
I
that.
did.
Yeah, yeah. It was bad. It was bad, man. So, like I said, I need the Dallas Cowboys to hold me down. Just come out, handle business. Let's get the win, and then we can start preparing and get some momentum under ourselves, man. We cannot, though. We cannot let Jason Garrett come in and have his moment. We let Cole Beasley do it last year. Don't let Jason Garrett come in and have his moment. And they're dumping, the Gatorade on top of Jason Garrett, and he's walking off, clapping and celebrating, and because we know that's going to be the narrative. Every time you watch a Giants game, and I only caught a few of them, they talk about Jason Garrett, Jason Garrett, Jason Garrett, Jason Garrett, Jason Garrett. They never talk about the head coach. It's about Jason Garrett. And so this moment, I'm sure Jason Garrett is going to have his team fired up, or his offense fired up. It's really his team. But they'll be ready to play, but we cannot let Jason Garrett come and have his moment, because I'm telling you guys, if they do, and Jason Garrett has his moment on that Cowboys field, all hell's going to break loose. Because, like I said, Jerry's going to start to regret, second-guess things. Mike McCarthy's going to have a lot of explaining to do. Mike Nolan's going to have a lot of explaining to do. And it's just all downhill. But we're not, Cowboys fam. We are not tanking. Not on my damn watch, we're not. Not with the expectations that I have for this season. I know a lot of people are talking about we should tank and get a left tackle. No. With the team that we have established still today, the expectations is still winning football games and progressing through the playoffs. Because like I said, as far as our weapons are concerned, we have more than enough weapons than a lot of NFL teams do. So we're still fully capable. Just our right tackle and our left tackle, they're going to have to grow a pair and, go from boys to men this season. It is what it is. But I feel like as long as we have those guys, Dak, Zeke, Cooper, CD, all those guys still intact, the expectations for this season is winning and going to the playoffs. That's still my expectations, and I am not changing that. So Ryan, once again, man, I appreciate you coming on, man, and go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and support you. Guys, go to his channel, subscribe to his channel, all that stuff, man. Great guy, like I said, he's one of the writers for the Fan to Fan Network, so we do a lot of partnering together, and we'll do a lot more shows together this week.
Sure. So it's Fratagonia again on YouTube. I do daily Dallas Cowboys content. Real Fratagonia on Twitter and Fratagonia on Instagram.
Yeah, guys, definitely check them out. And like I said, check out the shirts. That way. Check out the shirt, Feed Zeke, man. CowboysFansOnly.com, man. Go ahead and, guys, I appreciate all the support you guys have been purchasing the shirts, man. Like I said, I got a lot of more things we're working on creating for you guys, so I appreciate all support. But also follow me on the channel, Cowboys Fans Only, on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at JTuck151. And if you're watching via Facebook, go ahead and like the Facebook page. Shout out to my guy Sid, man. DC for life, man. Got a lot of content coming up, but the content is a lot easier when the Cowboys are handling business. Shouts out to my guy Skywalker. I was talking to him. I was like, I didn't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk about the Cowboys right now. Like I didn't care. Like I didn't care. DeMarcus Lawrence was talking. I'm like, I just needed a break. But we are back, and we're gonna keep going. Got some guests lined up for next week. So hopefully we got a lot of fun content coming for you guys, man. So like I said, Cowboys fam, tomorrow, Sunday, just come out. Let's make a statement. Let's play football. Let's play hard. Show effort. If you're tired of Xavier Woods, do this. Do this. Say, I'm tired. I got to come out. Zeke pulled himself out before. Amari Cooper pulls himself. Xavier, was he tired? Pull your shirt. Say, I got to come out. I'm tired. I'm tired. But don't be out there just half and loafing on the field. Don't do that. So I need to see some effort. I need to see some tenacity. I need to see some physicality. I want to see everyone flying to the ball. I need to see this team playing as a unit, especially the defensive side of the ball. Have some fun out there. I feel like the Cowboys have kind of lost their swagger a little bit. Like, have some fun. Get out there and just win the game and handle business. And let's get this train rolling, man. All right, Cowboys fam. So we're going to stay positive. We're going to stay excited, man. We're going to push through tomorrow. We're going to get the victory tomorrow. And we're going to be ready, and we're going to start rolling to the next week and get this thing rolling, man. So it's your boy, Jay Tuck, man. I appreciate you guys. Like I always say, stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Cowboys, Tuck, Cowboys up, and we're gone.